Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to Lilly Loves Tarot. I do appreciate you. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I have one of Lily's gems. Yes, I have some time today, so we are going to talk about it. And today's theme that we are going to talk about is you're an ex for a reason. I'm going to talk about energies that show up in the tarot readings as people who are selfish and self-centered, all right? People who are giving off narcissistic vibes, all right, and energy. So, my lovelies, you know what we do on this channel. We give each other a hug because, we are trying to get through it. We are all on our own journey, and we are trying to do what? Live, love, and learn. So, my lovelies, let's delve in. In relationship readings, a lot of energies will show up, okay? And specifically, what I pull a lot of times is that the energies sometimes are very unbalanced, okay? So we have one person doing all the work, constantly investing, constantly trying to make it work, and the other person is sitting back doing absolutely nothing. Now, this is not the kind of energy that I like to see because, as you know, any relationship without reciprocity will die. All right? So, what we want to see is some give and take. And I consistently said this: it takes two to tango. Relationships need a dialogue. All right? You need to have communication when there are expectations. Because I don't care what connection you're in, there is an expectation. Somebody has an expectation for a desired result. They are looking for something. No matter what it is, people hook up for a reason. And you may not like the reason, but they are hooking up for a reason. They are connecting with you to get something from you, and vice versa. Okay? So let's not fool ourselves. Now, we know that there are different strokes for different folks. So let's talk about the self-centered, the adored, those who feel they should be celebrated just because they entered into the room. Yes, this shows up in tarot readings. Some of the energies where this will show up in the cards is the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is usually an energy of someone who is very attractive. They're getting a lot of attention. This could be someone who has high status, and they have a lot of options. And this person, this energy, is someone that likes to get attention from the village. All eyes on me. It is usually someone in the upright position that is very confident in what they have to offer. And it's usually an energy of someone that is gleaming of admiration. The Six of Wands is fire energy. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Look at me, look at me. I'm the finest thing you will ever see. Okay? So, these types of individuals are usually people who are used to having an entitlement type of persona. They don't really like to put in a lot of effort. And let's keep it real. Most very attractive people usually don't. And it is called, in my book, pretty privilege. Okay? And pretty privilege, and let's just keep it real, all right? Pretty privilege does allow certain individuals to move in certain spaces that they normally probably would not be moving in. We are very visual beings, okay? So, and I get that. But a lot of times, unfortunately, pretty privilege does not always pay off in relationships. And sometimes they don't always pay in relationships because there are those of us who have pretty privilege tend to abuse it when we use it, you see. And we tend to develop an entitlement attitude where we feel that people should just praise us, celebrate us for doing absolutely nothing because we are in the room. Now, I'm not saying, and don't get it twisted, I'm not saying all people with pretty privilege exert this type of energy. However, because these types of individuals are used to being very heavily pursued out here in these dating streets and in the romance streets, they tend to start slacking. And they do not feel that they need to put in any real effort. They don't really feel that they need to give a lot to make things work. So, in tarot readings, these types of individuals tend to show up as being very lazy. And usually, unfortunately, their connections are always unbalanced because these are the type of people, for some reason, and I'm just giving you guys the true take here, they know that they are in the minority. And because they have a lot of options, they can pick and choose who they want to deal with. So, in addition to that, they usually tend to have an aura about themselves, which is take it or leave it. But because we usually like to be around those who are visually and physically attractive, because that's just really human nature, for some people, they will lax their boundaries to deal with these individuals. And they normally would not lax their boundaries if they were dealing with somebody that was not as attractive. Now, let me also go a step further. Pretty privilege can also mean your financial situation, okay? It may not necessarily be how you visually look, but it is how your finances look, okay? Which can attract a lot of options to you. So, yes, you can have people who have pretty privilege in addition to having money privilege. That's the extra. Okay? Because usually out here in these dating streets, most people have one or the other. But if you have both, you have basically hit the jackpot. So these well-funded individuals who have a lot of options because of how they look do not always feel that they need to reciprocate in their connections. Now, they feel that because of what they have to offer, you should hop, skip, and jump, do the hula hoop, go on merry-go-rounds and roller coasters, and ride the Ferris wheel to be with them. And for a lot of you, this is what you're doing, but you are getting nothing in return. So, why am I speaking about this? I'm talking about this because it sets up, unfortunately, connections that become abusive. And that's why I would always say, use your spirit of discernment. Use your spirit of discernment. Are you getting as good as you're giving? Is your connection balanced? Are they giving you the attention that you're giving them? Can you answer that question? Or are you left feeling like an option when you want and need and deserve to be the priority? Only you can answer that. So, what I want to say is, sometimes when I'm doing readings, I will see that this type of energy is usually someone, unfortunately, who's had a constant history of dismissals. And what I mean by that is these are usually, sometimes, not all the time, people who move recklessly when it comes to romantic relationships. Because they don't take the time to commit. Why? Because they have so many options. And they are afraid that they're not going to get what they want. So they usually keep people on the hook in rotation. And they are usually, not all the time, but usually they are able to switch people in and out very easily. Which means that a lot of times they don't connect emotionally. They don't give the connection time to develop. They have people that are in and out of their lives constantly. Because sometimes they have developed a superficial attitude that it's not who you are as a person, it's what you look like. That's all that matters. Well, let me just say this, the old adage. You don't buy cake for the icing, because if you don't like the cake, you will throw it away. Judging books by their cover can cost you very dearly. And I have consistently said this on this channel, and I will continuously say it. When it comes to romantic connections, look deep before you leap. Now, if you are just looking for casual and that's all you care about, then this message probably isn't for you. But for those of you who are looking for substance, who are looking for real connection, may ask yourself, why do people, and I'm going to talk about this right now, people who have dismissed me or disregarded me in the past, why are they coming back into my life? For what? You've made it very clear that you were not going to reciprocate. You made it very clear that you didn't want me or need me. So why are you coming back? This attitude of entitlement. People who are usually very narcissistic always feel that they can recover no matter what. No matter if they burnt the bridge with you, dismissed you, disregarded you, betrayed you, lied to you, cheated on you, they have the arrogance and the superiority attitude that they can always reach back into time and correct any situation that they destroyed. They do. So for a lot of you out here who may have experienced this, where an ex came back, someone that you were saying to yourself, this person, I know this person is never, ever going to come back to me because of what they did. Well, a very narcissistic person will. Because a lot of times these people do not believe that you will ever truly move on from them, no matter what they've done to you. This could be a period of months since the breakup. I've even seen it a period of years where these people will show up. And I know this because of my clients that I do readings for. And you may say to yourself, the audacity. Why? Because these types of people do not change. They change partners, but they don't change who they are. And because they were never connected to you, they were never any real roots to the connection, a lot of times they've left you. And once they've left you, they're sitting there thinking, I don't even know this person. For some of you, you could have spent years with this individual. Some of you, you could have been married to this person. And you never really knew them, and they never really knew you because they were masking the whole time. So a lot of times when these breakups happen and they get short on supply, they start reminiscing about you. Yes, believe it or not, they start reminiscing about you and what they walked away from, what they ghosted, what they discarded, what they dismissed. And they will do a loop back around to your doorstep. Not literally your doorstep, but they will want to come back. Because they will have a hard time believing that you have truly moved on. This is their ego. Because the reality is, most of these types of people move in energies that are in denial, that are unrealistic, and that are delusional. And they are non-believers. So when I say you're an X for a reason, they don't get that. They don't believe that. They just feel like they're an extension of an experience that they had with you. Let me run it back for the people who may have missed that. You know why they're an X, but they don't really know why they're an X, because their ego and their self-centeredness and their narcissistic tendencies does not allow them to walk in truth. So they walk around in la-la land, truly believing that they are the gift to everyone that they come in contact with, no matter how reckless and abusive their behaviors are. Now, I'm not stating that you can't be an attractive person. I'm not saying that all attractive people are abusive. I'm not saying that. So for those of you who are listening to this message, don't get it twisted. I'm talking about people who use their pretty privilege and their financial privilege to abuse and use other people. Yes, you can be very attractive and be a good person. You can have financial wealth and resources and be a good person. But I am talking about those today who have ill intent and who manipulate and use people for their selfish gain. That's what this message is about. So, my lovelies, if someone has discarded you, dismissed you, disrespected you, cheated on you, and they come back around, it is up to you to make a decision on whether you want to deal with this individual or not. So for those of you who may be going through this, where an ex has reappeared out of nowhere, just remember, they're an ex for a reason. Why didn't it work out? Go back to that. Do not become delusional. Why did they really leave? Did they really see your value? Did they treat you with any kind of dignity and respect? Or did they have you in rotation with a bunch of other people? Were they ever truly monogamous? Or were they just future faking and leading and dragging you down the street into an atmosphere of uncertainty? You must make that decision and decide. That, my lovelies, will be up to you. But as I always believe, and I will always say, if you're an ex, you're an ex for a reason. I want to thank everyone for tuning into this message. I do appreciate you. Continue living, loving, and learning. And as always, blessings to all of you. Until next time, take care.